Bitches in the future?
Joe.
Bitcoin is the future.
Yeah, that's it.
One BTC and 32 ETH.
Okay, welcome back, hard forkers, to one Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum with my wonderful and very capable co-host Stefano and Mr. Gonzo. How are you, boys?
Oh, good.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Exciting time. So I think this is probably going to be our best show ever today, people. So you might want to hang in there right till the end. We've got a little bit of everything for you today. We're going to be looking at the market, what we're doing in the space, hoping to educate you all on a few key things that are going on. But most importantly, people, we have replaced Meme of the Week this week with something so much more important. From last week's show, yes, we've got a UFO sighting. Here we go. Now, you need to look very closely. Coming over my shoulder, we thought, could it be a drone? Could it be a bird? I think I've definitively ruled out those two things. Something that appears to have covered about 2 kilometers in under a second. Stefano's alien friends have come to pick him up. Check it out. Tell us what you think it is. Here it comes.
Maybe in the edit we can get this isolated.
Yeah.
Woo!
There it is.
I know what it is.
It's a drone.
No, it was the altcoin moon mission, and Sean missed it talking about Bitcoin.
Fail.
Well, I tell you what, you guys might have. I'm not going to say you saved me on that front because I'm still a massive fan and believer of Bitcoin. But yes, I did come late to the party on the on Ethereum and all these other coins. But the ones I do have led the charge this week. That's for sure. Obviously, the layer 2 tech that Stefano has been talking about extensively on this channel. We've looked at Matic. There's plenty of shows. Hand holding, moving from ETH to layer 2, etc. Links below to that, people. But my God, yeah, Matic obviously is the massive mover this week. Any thoughts on that, Mr. Colavan?
Which foot you want me to say?
Oh, you can just say I told you so if you want.
I told you so. Like, what do you want? Like, yes, it's a layer 2. Matic is where it's exactly what I've been saying for the past. I don't know at this point, but it comes down to like always the same story. Follow where the development is happening. When we were having like all the massive issues with the gas price and so on,
Which is sorted out, by the way, now.
True as well.
They've increased the data size per block, so the fees are a lot cheaper now.
Yeah.
You never see anything over like 60 Gwei now, which is pretty cool.
For the moment. Let's wait.
Certainly helping with the all-time high that we saw last few hours.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like basically, now I don't want to be that guy, but I kind of want to be that guy. To all the people that were writing on Twitter that Ethereum was dead, to all the people that were like, oh, clearly this chain is dead. Like I can't pay $70 for gas fees, blah blah, and so on. Bravo. Bravo. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. Like that's the point. Ethereum and layer 2s are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and adoption is happening there. Tons of nice things are still like happening there. Aave jump on when Aave launched the liquidity providing on the liquidity mining on Polygon, they got something like $1.4 billion in deposit within the 24 hours. You know,
I think it might have been 10 days, but it was fast.
Well, there was a specific peak like at one point. And the thing is that like we are seeing that the market is there. People that were in the space, that were in Ethereum, the money are still in Ethereum. And now there is a little bit of like a comfortable stage on moving them away into layer 2s. And Matic is the one that is actually being okay for the community. So really, this is like what we've been saying for the past months. There is nothing crazy on that.
Yep, very true. On that note, what else have you got to share with us? What's happening in this week? What should people know about?
There is quite a lot that it's going on. So give me 1 second that I take the screen share over. So can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So number one, Ethereum is at all-time high. This is the only thing that matters. End of the show. We can go. Now, apart from that, let's go on a few news. So on the 29th, MotoGP Ignition is having the second sales. Now, if anybody has tried to like join the first one, that was basically impossible because they sold out like within a couple of minutes basically, and it was impossible to basically get anything because the bots like clean up everything. So what happened this time is that they have introduced a queue system, very similar like if you ever bought into NBA Drop Shot. The system works exactly the same way. You jump in the queue, you got like your randomized number, and you're allowed to get only one pack per purchase. So chances are that a lot of people are going to manage to get at least one pack, but I don't think that people are going to manage to get like more than that. It's on the 29th, and the cheapest pack goes for $9. The most expensive one, which is like the team that has both rider and bike, goes for $14. So if you're interested in that, if you're like part of the Rev ecosystem, if you're like playing F1 Delta Time, this is pretty much like a sales that is coming up. And, you know, I tried to like jump on the first one and unfortunately didn't really manage a lot.
Now, Stefano, can you just have a quick look at the price of the Rev token at the moment? Because it's had some pretty wild swings lately.
Sure. So the Rev token right now goes at 27 cents at 0.01. Is down actually on the Ethereum, minus 7%. On the week, 5.9. So on the week is a ride, nothing too crazy. On the 30 days, you lost half of the value.
So you can buy extra bikes at a good price.
No, because that's the thing. You can only buy it. So MotoGP runs on the Flow blockchain. And so it's the same blockchain that is like on NBA Drop Shot, but for these specific sales, you can only purchase via credit card.
Right.
So there is no crypto involved actually, even if it's like an NFT project and so on. They're experimenting. Now, I have very, very mixed feelings, but I like the MotoGP. So I'm trying to keep it together and really not throw poison on that. But yes, a lot of decisions that have been made are a bit questionable, let's be honest, or kind of like not really pro blockchain from that side. Now, for anybody else interested, these are the riders that are available. Valentino Rossi was on the first sale, so you know, that's a fortune, but you know, whatever. So that's the news number one. Staying on the Flow blockchain, there is NBA Drop Shot, which is currently having their pre-pack sales, where basically like if you're familiar with NBA Drop Shot, you will know that basically when you're trying to get into one of their drops, it's almost impossible because they have like 50,000 or 70,000 packs and you get 500,000 accounts that are trying to like get one. So it's super, super difficult. From time to time, they organize these sort of events like the one that there is right now, where everybody can pre-order a pack. So there is no limit, basically. You're completely free of getting a pack at least. Well, at least you can only like get one. Even in this case, they cost $9. Now, do not expect crazy returns on things like this. To be honest, normally when I buy these type of things where everybody can get that, it's a miracle if I walk away with like $20 out of like the 9 that I'm spending. So, you know, you're not doing this for making money. But if you're actually into the NBA drop shot, there is currently the option of get a pack, a secure pack, which, you know, it's still something if you're like a collector and stuff like that. Then next event, this goes on April 28th. So tomorrow morning for people that are in Asia, actually during the night. And that's a pity, unfortunately, because I think it's a super cool event. Atari is launching in Decentraland their casino. And they're going to have $10,000 in prices between like tokens and wearables. If you're familiar with a little bit of what Atari is doing, the previous wearables that Atari has launched, which were the Atari shoes, are now actually being sold for anywhere between like $400 to $500. So anybody that managed to get the free drop in the past is now sitting on an easy profit and return of $500 basically. Here, I have no idea what is going to happen. They didn't disclose like the events, the wearables, like all the details and so on. But traditionally, when Atari does things, they're very, very cool in Decentraland. So, you know, this is like from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. UTC time on April 28th. So if you have a chance to like just check it out, I would suggest to do that. Costs nothing just to go there and see how it is. Nice thing is also, as Jordan was mentioning, that now that the way of the gas price on Ethereum is pretty low, claiming an item is not going to cost you $80, $90, $100 anymore. So, you know, it's kind of like a win-win. The last one, which goes on Friday, is the Beeple Spring Summer Collection 2021. So Beeple, you know this by now. If you don't, like, you're living under a rock in the NFT space. Beeple is announcing the new drop. As per usual, they're doing like crazy things. They're all going like for $1. There are 400 physical NFTs to be bought, if I understood correctly, or something like that. And basically, it's gonna be a crazy drop because everybody wants to get a Beeple, because traditionally like, they go for thousands and thousands of dollars. So what you want to do is like follow at least like his Twitter, I would say, because they mentioned there are like some questions that are gonna like pop up in order to allow people to enter and getting a chance to actually receive a drop. And this is gonna happen on Friday. So good luck to anybody, whoever managed to get one. Easy thousands of dollars of return, but it's gonna be a crazy one because Beeple's drops are always super, super difficult. Yeah, this is pretty much it basically.
Okay, fantastic. Hey, just a quick one. You raised a super interesting point there, and I know what we're like. We could get bogged down talking about this for hours, but if we can just quickly touch on it, the fiat on ramp to the F1 Delta time to the MotoGP. You mentioned you're not overly happy about that. Is that? It seems to me, is that also the same with NBA drop shot? I'm hearing stories of, you know, a lot of people buying these NBA clips, etc., but they've got no idea about blockchain, crypto, etc. So there's clearly a fiat on ramp there as well.
Yes, there is. So on NBA drop shot, you can either like deposit cryptos or you can indeed buy with your debit or credit card.
So my question is, what's your issue with this?
Well, options are a good thing. I'm pro options. I just don't like the fact that I'm forced on using my card. You know, the thing is that like, it's okay if you're not familiar with the space, not a problem at all. Here, I have only the card option. I don't have the crypto option.
Okay, gotcha.
So on NBA drop shot, you have the two options. So it's fine. You want to go crypto, you want to pay your gas, it's totally okay. You don't want to do that, you don't do that. Real.co, which is another platform that I use for like fractionalized real estate and so on, they do the same exactly thing. They give you the option of paying like either with cryptos or using your card to do that. And depending, there are some moments where like, you know, traditionally I would use cryptos, but there was a time where like a simple transfer, because they're limited and so on. So an order would cost you like $300-400. The max that you can spend on maybe like a position would be like $300 or $400. When gas was very, very high, you know, spending $70, $80 in gas for a transaction of $300-400 doesn't make any sense. So at that point, it's a good thing that you have the option of paying with card, because your gas, your commissions goes down to zero at that point. But the fact that you're a blockchain project, you're a crypto project, and you're forcing me to go on a traditional way with no option whatsoever as a user to use cryptos, I don't like it. It's not fair.
Amoka brands are behind this particular game. Are they not moving to Matic as well?
That's like the things that like it's kind of like unclear yet, because they have so many projects, like between the sandbox, between like your crazy heroes, I think it is, all the Rev ecosystem, the F1 Delta Time, the MotoGP, and so on. Like they have so many projects basically going on, and are they moving there? In theory, yes, but with MotoGP, they're going with the float blockchain. So they're taking like a different approach on that. Is that going to pay out to be a good thing or a bad thing? Right now, it seems to be a good thing, because the pre-sale went completely crazy on the first one that they had. Now we will see with the new system what is going to happen.
Okay. Well, it could still drive that adoption of blockchain gaming once people are in that ecosystem. Obviously, I'm a holder of the Rev Token, so I'd love to see that appreciate in value. But yeah, I need to pull my finger out a wee bit and actually dig in here a bit deeper and acquire some assets in that game rather than just sitting on that token, I think, is my next.
Yeah, the thing is that like you can give them like an excuse on the simple fact that the packs are going like from $9 to $14, and chances are that everybody's gonna probably get one if they're lucky enough. So we're talking about like spending $9 or $14. Let's say $10. Paying with a card for $10, whatever, is no biggie. So you can still discount that decision. It's easier to manage that. They want to obviously like giving the option to like as many people as possible to get at least a pack to experience the ecosystem and all of that stuff. So it's a developing thing. It's not perfect. As the NBA drop shot was not perfect, and it's still not perfect. Yeah. How many people were complaining on the fact that they were not able to like withdraw funds from NBA drop shot? Now it's okay. Now they fixed their problem. But back in February, it was basically impossible to do that. So, a lot of these projects are obviously like getting their stuff together as they're developing, as there is adoption, as the community is basically pointing out where the mistakes are. MotoGP Ignition is literally, you can't even open a pack right now. The pack that you're buying, you cannot even open it right now. So we're really, really, really just like in pure speculation and hope that they're going to like deliver something that is good. It's true that they have an history. So could this be a scam? Well, they have the sandbox behind. They have like the F1 Delta Time. They have so many projects behind that. Like, I think it would be pretty weird if they do a scam now with a brand that is not as strong as the F1 Delta Time or the sandbox, basically.
I've reached out to Amoka Brands and asked them to come on the show. I'm going to send them this video as well. So if you are watching this, we would love you on the channel.
Oh, for sure. Like it's super cool what they're doing.
Yep. Get your butts on here, people. We like what you're doing. We want to talk to you directly. Mr. Gonzo, we'll get to your sentiments and analysis of what's going on that interests you in the space at the moment. But before we do that, could you kindly share our project review board? Let's have a look at how the projects we've reviewed over the last year are in fact performing. Obviously, we had the
it's a nasty
face
week.
melting scenario with Pirate Chain last week. What have we got this week?
Same. Well, other than Pirate Chain, it's nasty. Everything's bleeding.
We're done.
I mean, if you look at the weekly gains, most everything looks pretty bad except for CyberFi here. But we're still up overall. It's just a bad week, right? Everybody last week was saying, the bull market's over. We're finished. Time to pack it up. Everybody take your stablecoin profits. And then, sorry. One day of green and everybody's back on the train, ready to go to the moon. So let's see. What do we get?
Can I just quickly ask you, Mega Bonk, just very quickly, what's the deal there? If you go on CoinGecko, it's still, you can see Bonk, but
Didn't they change that now?
So what happened is they did the coin swap, right? Which you did, remember? You did it. And then, so the original bonk is still there, but there's no liquidity and there shouldn't be anybody trading it. So the new ticker is MBonk. So you got airdropped your new MBonks. And yeah, right now, Sealsy's, there's a staking contract coming. There's a whole bunch of NFT stuff planned. But, you know, nothing moves fast enough for crypto degens.
Yep.
So it's launched and people are like, oh, what's going on? There's nothing happening. So people get impatient and sell.
Yeah, Axie Infinity's had a nice gain. I actually finally got in and bought myself some AXS token, and obviously we'll see you all on Friday for our live show with the Axie scholarship content.
Yeah, it's going crazy. With the gas dropping, everybody started breeding again. There's lots of sales happening. It's like the average Axie sale on the marketplace is 0.01 ETH is the average price, and the floor is now actually like 0.056 or 0.06. It's crazy. So you're looking at like 125, 130 bucks just for a bottom of the barrel Axie.
Quick question, guys. Just while we're on Axie, some guys from my crypto meetup they really like what is happening here on this channel, giving these scholarships away, and they've actually got some teams that they would like to include in that. And for anyone else watching, is there a possibility that they can talk with us and get involved in that program, or is that sort of overload for you boys, or can you comment on that?
No, because like, say it's easy to like, hey, I have like these assets. Why don't you do the job and make them earning money for me so that I can sit down and not do anything and get my cut of the cake? Here's what you do if you have a team and you want to enter into the scholarship. You put your ass to work. That's your answer.
What is the work? What do they need to do?
Well, they need
the
to
easiest way would be just to join the Discord server.
Exactly.
And find one person that's going, please, sir, please, sir, please, sir, scholarship, please, sir, good day, sir, please, sir. You find one of those people and you just start talking to them, and you got to figure out if it's a good person or not. And then, because all we're doing right now is we're just filtering through people and finding out who actually needs it. You know, like there's no interview process. I mean, there's a little bit, you can just ask them if they know the game, you know, ask them to pick a team, and then you just got to monitor them and make sure they're making the SLP, give them the QR code.
Okay, cool. Link below to the Discord, people. Anyone?
Now, keep in mind that it takes time to actually managing team. Like, it's not like you sit down, you join like an LP on Uniswap or something like that. There are hours and hours that goes into things like this. Just like, because you hear the nice stories and so on. We obviously don't share the behind the scene because it's boring, but I'm literally spending hours every single day on doing these things, like on ensuring that everybody gets like their QR code, that everybody can play, that everybody can withdraw when they need it, that there is like proper communication with every single person, that like that there is strategy being discussed. Like, if you're not into like some you're doing scholarship to help. If you want to be involved, it means not only that you need the asset, but you need also the time. You need to be willing to really put down time to do something like that.
Okay.
I mean, there's the only option I can think of to be completely, like, if someone wanted to just be hands off, they would like have to send their teams. They would have to gift one of their teams to either me or Stefano, and then we would just manage it, right? But that would be considered, that wouldn't be like, you'd only be getting maybe like 10 or 15% of the profits or something, you know, or maybe.
I'm sure the guys I've spoken to would be happy with that. I'm sure, and they are watching. So guys, jump on the disc. Okay, let's get through the rest of these projects quickly, guys.
So CyberFi's got some cool news coming. They have another IDO. We've got our allocation, Sean. You just have to do the whitelist, right? I did mine. So we've got some staked. CyberFi's making its move because of this. And actually it's a good, because it's just an airdrop. It's not actually an allocation. So depending on your tier, you get a small freebie. You don't even have to pay for it. So that's kind of cool. The VSA is the ticker for this one. So anybody that's got some staked CyberFi, you qualify for a whitelist, some freebies, which is kind of cool. Let's see, Hex is down this week. Block Duelers, we just released a big white paper or a big Medium article update introducing new tier systems for the League of Duelers. So that made the price jump right away. It's only down 1% here, but actually it's up like 50% on the day. It was quite down, almost $100 to $100 a token. Now up to 180. So it's kind of ripped in the last 12 hours. Everybody's stocking up, waiting for the new influencer series that's coming out on Friday. So there's going to be another 500 rare cards, 250 of each influencer, and then we're going to have battles. So they're going to stream and show off the new cards for everybody, which is kind of neat. These are all going to be limited edition. Good luck getting one. Because there's like all the guys now are like, loot boxes are empty. Like, oh, I need more loot boxes. It's crazy. The loot box addiction that shows up. I've never seen anything like it, Stefano. I've never really participated in anything like that, so it's kind of.
I'm new. I didn't understand.
Jordan, have you got something I can edit? It's just like a little clip of gameplay or something I can throw over the screen here at this point, just so people aren't staring at this project review board forever.
So we've got our other coins here, Cartier Chain and MatraDAO. I've got them, but I haven't been following them. Sean, do you know what's happening with those guys?
Yeah, if you are holding Cartier Chain, there is I believe a gaming project has been built on that blockchain at the moment, and holders of Cartier Chain can get a small airdrop in that project. That's sort of the most recent news out of there. MatraDAO, I will reach out to that team and give you an update soon, people. I'm not aware of anything sort of hot off the press there at the moment.
They had like an enormous, because they're part of the Galaxy farm on the router. And they got like in the past 2 days, I think, like their liquidity on Matic, on the LP, skyrocket. Like, I don't know what happened, but someone put an insane amount of liquidity inside the Matic LP for MatraDAO. So it seems like that they're moving on pretty heavily on.
Okay.
On layer 2 from.
It's just about Pirate Chain. You know, we had that crazy week last week, massive swings. You know, it was up to like $17 or $18, and it's kind of consolidating around $10 right now. People are like, oh, it's down 50%. But fuck, it's up like 100% from like 3.
See, Jordan, it's screw the project. It's screw 14,000% up. It's screw, obviously. It's done. That's it. What is this, huh? Obviously. Huh?
Okay. Thank you very much. And I just also want to point out that I don't want to confuse anyone. Obviously, Vess are a good friend of this channel. When you see these zeros next to the overall gain and 7-day loss, you know, obviously it's a piece of his art and the NFT that we haven't put up for sale as yet, so there's no figures associated.
Viz is doing tons of things right now. Like,
yeah,
it's insane.
He's a good buddy, and we'll get him back on this week.
We're gonna get
the guy is really pushing.
Him and Didi, they're gonna have a fighter on Block Duelers.
Oh, really?
He did that kind of Atlas Bitcoin painting, right? So I'm going to turn that into a fighter on the platform. So we'll have some cross promotion going there. He's going to get a new NFT for DD and Vessa. You can battle each other. It'll be fun.
Very cool. So I know I can. You're just waking up in Bangkok there today, Mr. Gonzo. So brush off the cobwebs. And have you got any thoughts, comments, projects you want to tell the audience about?
Man, I've just been like up to here in NFTs, dude. Like, I can't keep up. I'm getting shit from all sides because I'm missing deadlines, and I don't know what to do. So I just figured I'd stop doing it and just come on this show.
Complain about You're procrastinating. But that's not
I have one comment kind of connected, you know, NFT news. There's the Beeple thing. The big thing going around that is the sleep minting, which I just want to mention. It's Stefano, see what he thinks about it. And the other thing is Binance has announced, they're building the world's NFT marketplace. They've announced it, that it's the world leading, and they haven't sold a fucking thing yet. But that's one thing. The other thing
I personally skipped that news because I didn't want to talk about that.
That really pisses me off about it is that you can only get 1% royalty, and there's no option to like go higher. And that's just like, you're just changing, like getting raped by Biden for getting raped by Trump. You know, it's like, it's this old archaic system of like, you know, the guys with the big money and the marketing hype bringing in all this content, and then just like, oh, here's your pittance, here's 1%. You know, like the whole reason NFTs came around is so that people and artists have control their own royalties and their own content. And now it's like, oh, Binance, come sell your shit on ours. We'll give you 1%.
Yeah, but see, bullshit. Binance is Binance. BSC is gonna be the top leading cryptocurrency, like, the smart contract, the blockchain thing, and whatever. And you know, they're awesome, and whatever they do, they're gonna dominate the market.
But we don't really talk too much about what you do apart from this show. But I know you have an extremely good knowledge of the security token space, tokenization of assets. Comments on this article at a CoinDesk?
Oh, sure. I'm waiting to see who is going to go to jail.
Yeah, I was wondering what the hell's going on here. Okay,
like on this, like really, I have nothing really to say that like anybody that knows the definition of security tokens, you need a license to do this. Okay.
Isn't FTT doing the same thing though? Like,
well, that's the thing. The main point is like, so there are a few points that we need to get into this. Now, these are securities. Just because they're on the blockchain, it means absolutely nothing. These are 100% securities. Therefore, this is not gray area anymore. This is not about like blockchain or cryptos or this and that. This follows 100% the same laws that are in place on the sales of securities, which says that if you want to sell a security, you need a license. And tons of people don't realize this, and it's really just like putting a little bit of proper thinking. You need to get a license in the country where the buyer is located. So let's take the easy example. You got a US citizen that buys a security, you need to be licensed in the US to sell that security. If you're not, the SEC is gonna knock the door and take you and put you in jail. Now, obviously, tons of people are gonna be like, but Binance doesn't sell to the US. Okay, it's fine. What about the other countries? What about the other countries? Tell me in which country Binance have a security license. And those are, legally speaking, the countries where citizens, residents are allowed to buy. If I get a security license in Curacao, for example, or in BVI, or in Cayman, or in San Vicente and Grenadine, I'm allowed to sell to people that are living in that country. If someone from the UK comes to my website and I have a license in BVI, I'm not doing marketing, which is fine, but I'm not licensed to sell to a UK person. So legally speaking, I should, nobody does that, but I should say to the person from the UK, I'm sorry, I have no license. I'm not allowed to sell you this security. I can't do that. Tell me one company that does that. None. Which means that at any time, a regulator can go knock the door and be like, hey, you didn't do this. Either you take a fine or you go to jail. Now, to anybody, because I hear that story as well, and those actually piss me off as stories because it's pure ignorance at one point. To anybody that says, oh, but you know, we're going to be big enough that then like they can't take us down. What
Stefano,
about BitMEX?
Funds are safe-oo, okay? Relax.
Yeah,
funds are safe-oo.
Yeah, as long as they're not.
Yeah, until they're not. Exactly.
That's the thing. BitMEX, what happened to BitMEX? They were in Seychelles. What was the big problem over there, huh? You know, the problem was that when you're doing things that you don't realize, sooner or later, people are gonna knock the door.
Mm.
Stefano, kind of related to that, I have another question about the earlier thing, Atari
Mhm.
and Decentraland, gambling, gaming. How does that work? I mean, it's decentralized. And again, like, you know, gambling restrictions and regulations are just as tough as, like, you know, security tokens.
Yeah.
And
That
every country is different. So how the hell did they get around that? I want to know.
they didn't get around that. It's
So they're
just that,
just
like
doing the same thing. They just
yeah,
like, oh, fuck it. We're just going to gamble until someone says something.
that yeah, it's 100% that. Now
Wow.
it's
With
the same
Atari,
thing of
I'm
like,
amazed actually.
the problem is that like there is still like this message that like because it's crypto then things are blurry or gray. They're not. They're
No one
really
gives a fuck until they
not.
get caught.
Like that's the thing. Like there is a project that I really like, and I mentioned that before, and that's kind of like I really hate to like bring up things like this, but like Chain Games. Chain Games is an awesome project. I use that. It's actually very, very cool. But it's gambling. They don't have a license for that. Sooner or later, someone is going to knock the door and take them down if they don't have a license. That's the problem. But the concept is nice. But what they're doing, you need a license for these type of things. Atari, Decentral Game, you know, all of these people that says, oh, but it's in Decentraland, so it's not a problem. Now, I buy that as an argument because it's true. How do you prove that actually a player that is playing on Decentraland is actually violating the terms, because they would need a license for that? The problem is that Atari is offering gambling, and everybody knows that Atari is a US company. You know, they can go and knock the door for things like this. And it's, why is this not happening? Because that's the point. A lot of people, we saw that with DMG as well.
Yeah.
Say that it was a security, got an answer that it was, no, it's not true. We spoke, blah, blah. We know what we're doing, and crashed down. Now, once again,
yeah, just for people that aren't aware, that one of the projects we reviewed, they got a letter from the SEC. You know, this is a US based project, and the governance token was, they obviously just decided we're going to shut up shop here. It does worry me that a lot of these other governance tokens may go down the same path. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Well, that's the thing.
It's gonna happen.
It's a matter of when it's gonna happen. Look, the point is this: like, I work in this space on a daily. This is really something that I know that is not up for opinion or anything. This is not my opinion. This is how the law works. 99% of the projects that are compliant right now goes through a structure that is very, very complicated. We're talking about like private foundation. We're talking about like limited entity. We're talking about like nominee structures. We're talking about like disclaimers on websites. Like, there is a tons of legal work that it goes through ensuring that a team can be compliant with things. And even with that, there is a risk that if the US wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, they're going to take everything down like this. So even with that, you're not 100% secure. Now imagine that you're not even going through that process, that you're literally just going like, oh, but it's crypto, I can do whatever I want. Well, then be my guest. So Binance tokenizing securities means that Binance is a big fish. The first time, now it's true, they don't sell to the US. This is not going to be done by the US. But the first time that they step to the feet of a country that wants to take taxes, thinking about the European Union, for example, fine 50 million, fine 100 million. Oh, you do that again, another 100 million, another 100 million. I'm taking like my check every single time. Yeah. Till the point that I'm going to force you to get a license or I'm going to take you down.
Look, a couple of comments from me on this. Obviously, we looked at Gary Gensler being appointed to the head of the SEC. This guy, somebody I rate very highly. He's effectively the top cop, if you want to, for lack of a better term. So I think as an industry, I'm pretty pleased to see that guy in this role. But look, clearly regulation is going to come thick and fast this year. We've, the institutional involvement, Bitcoin and Ethereum is significant now. So yeah, I guess for our audience, I mean, we can't give you financial advice, but these are sort of topics that if you need to start understanding this, understand what your risks are for any of the investments you are making. And if you're a project, obviously, I would hope that you have understood this. So listen, anyway, guys, back to our alien theme. Let's get on to something slightly more light-hearted. Our resident alien on this planet, Elon Musk, is hosting Saturday Night Live, I think, this weekend. So I expect another Doge pump, unfortunately. But Tesla has sort of incurred the wrath of a lot of people for selling part of their Bitcoin position. I'll get your thoughts on that in a second, guys. But my thoughts here, I don't have a problem with this. I don't know why so many people are tweeting out, canceling their Teslas and so forth. Look, for me, what they've done here is effectively take out, a part of that initial investment. They've made more from freaking Bitcoin in a few months than they have from selling goddamn Teslas for years. So what better message to send other institutions about why Bitcoin's a good investment? To me, it's this is great. This is not something to come down on Tesla over at all. Also, the way institutional investing works, people, is once the market cap hits a certain threshold. Bitcoin currently $1 trillion, overall market cap $2 trillion. These corporations are effectively obliged to have a position, and to me, this is just downsizing a position. They made a huge amount of money. It represented X amount of their balance sheet, and they've just rebalanced that. I don't have a problem with it. Thoughts, Mr. Gonzo?
Shocking. What? Big business selling crypto for gains? I mean, obviously. Yeah, I mean, you covered it. That's why. It's because they don't care about the price. They care about the percentage in their portfolio. So
we all do.
You have a crazy fucking pump. Your 15% allocation turns into 50% allocation. So you rebalance it, right? Like that's risk management. That's, investing 101. Yeah. So whatever.
Expect more of the same, people. The institutional, we will see big swings in the market, in my opinion, because of these type of situations moving forward. The reason we're all doing so well is we're in speculation mode at the moment, and speak more. We'll see
Michael Saylor's tweet here in a day, probably saying, "I just bought all of Tesla's Bitcoin."
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, bought the dip. It's coming. I'm sure.
Yeah.
He always waits a day or two after the dip when the FOMO is going crazy, and then he's like, "Yep, we just bought a ton more." Well, you idiots, we're crying in your cornflakes, worried about a bear market coming on.
Stefano, comments on this one? No.
People never sell a coin in their life like that. That's the thing. Like, if you have a problem with that, have you ever sold anything? Like, have you ever liquidated an investment because you were in profit?
A ton of my altcoins over the last month, I've moved it into Bitcoin and Ethereum. So yes,
that's the thing. Like, what are we talking about? Does anybody buy things and keep that for the rest of their life and never take profits or do something else with the money?
Financial institution here in the Southern Hemisphere, Australian Stock Exchange listed company. And I was reading through this report that just came out the other day, and what I found absolutely fascinating, kind of off the back of, in one of the crypto groups I'm in, some guy was tweeting from Thailand saying that they had shut his bank account because he was using it to buy crypto, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, I can't sort of confirm that was the exact case, but that's just what that guy was saying. Look, what I found really quite interesting here is looking through their financial statements. We go through some of the costs they've had here, the usual story, lots of things that blockchain will help streamline, running costs, etc. But bang, and then I came across this. Non-interest income benefited by over $500 million. Now, this is a bank, a retail bank here, people. $546 million gain on the group's investments in Coinbase.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want a job working at one of these banks, because look how much they paid the venture firm that is obviously part of their setup. They got a performance fee of $122 million linked to that trade as well.
Yeah, it's what?
So anyway,
20%
where I'm
pretty
going
much.
with this is, if there was any doubt where this entire space is heading, there you go. You've got a traditional financial institution, a retail bank, making their big profits from investing in a crypto company. So basically, I wanted to share that off the back of some of the conversation we were having around regulation and law. It's going to come thick and fast, people. So factor that into your investing strategies moving forward. It's another layer of complexity, yes, but if you're playing a proper game in this space, you need to understand these things that are on the horizon. Okay, guys, Mr. Gonzo, I know you need to dash. So any closing thoughts from you?
Is Coinbase a crypto company or a fintech?
It's a fintech, but you get where I'm going with that.
Yeah, like everybody jacking off the crypto hype to make some money. In it for the tech, baby.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Stefano, closing comments.
Well, the space is nice. It's fun. Everything is good. Just don't be. No, actually, be that guy that doesn't know anything. So you're just gonna lose your money. So
Ape season.
I don't care.
Ape season.
Yeah. Anyway, this whole episode, to me, I just wanted to share the UFO sighting with you. So, can somebody can you let me know what you think that is? Anyone out there? We've had some people have filmed look at it. It's not a drone. It's not a bird. It's emitting light. Covers a couple of kilometers in under a second. Thoughts?
It's a drone. It's okay. It's a drone.
Now I'm that idiot crypto guy and alien guy. Hey, we'll see you all on Friday for our live show. Thanks for your time today, boys. I know how busy you are. You do this out of the goodness of your hearts for the audience. They do appreciate it, and so do I. Cheers, guys. See you all soon.
Peace out.
Fun.